Hi, I'm Madison, and this is Devised Guys. Today I will be talking about the last book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, The Last Olympian. This book was published in 2009 and is also written by Rick Riordan. For those of you that are new to my personal take on book reviews, I like to split these up into 3 sections. Non-spoilers, spoilers, and then my future section, which is normally where I talk about the remaining books in the series, but hence this is the last book, I will only be talking about the next series, which is The Heroes of Olympus. For those of you that haven't read the book, all I'm going to say to you is this book is so action-packed. I loved it. I couldn't put it down, and I've read this book I don't know how many times before, and I still found myself just flipping through each page one at a time and not being able to put it down. I think I read it in like 2 days, and normally it takes me like several weeks to get through these books just because I'm taking notes and I work and I have other things I'm doing with my life. But no, not with this book. I found myself wanting to read it just consistently. So, highly recommend you read it. If you don't want to be spoiled on this book though, this is your chance to leave. Time for my spoiler section. So, this book jumps right into the action. If you didn't know what kind of book this is going to be, I mean, we are literally just a few weeks away from Percy's birthday. We have skipped the entire summer. Normally we pick up with him in like May, June, usually June-ish. No, this time we are straight here in August, end of summer, end of camp. We're tired. We've been doing all of these missions that we don't really go into. But, you know, he's on a break with, you know, Rachel. And all of a sudden, Beckendorf flies in, breaks the previous, and blows up. Not exactly that quickly, but that's basically the first chapter. Percy's just chilling, and then all of a sudden, Beckendorf flies in with Jack Black, wrecks the Prius, and then they go on a mission and end up getting blown up, which was so sad. Not gonna lie, we have to talk about Beckendorf's death. I knew it was coming. And I still like almost cried at just like the whole thing. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so sad. I will say, the first time I read this book, I was with Percy. I was like, maybe he made it, maybe. And then it's like, yeah, no, he didn't. Next point is literally in chapter 3, they start hinting about the Oracle and her role in this whole book. We kind of talk about the Oracle, but we don't really. This book is her backstory, for sure. Next, Rick is always really good about using dreams throughout these to foretell the future or this, that, and the other, and he's already established this demigod dream set. And so the way he uses them in this book is to kind of show other perspectives, like what's going on with Rachel, what's going on in the Titan camp. And I think that was a really clever way in a first-person novel to show other storylines going on. Also, the river Styx. I absolutely adore that Percy sees Annabeth on the side of the river, and then let's just talk about that battle afterwards. That is the best way, I think, that you can ever like explain what is happening after the river Styx. Like, I think that was the perfect way to explain Percy's strength. Like, not just talking about it, but being like, full force, let's show it, okay? And like, he gets to Hades and has a sword to his neck. Like, I mean, it's amazing. Another thing, Annabeth, Luke, and Thalia's backstory. I'm sure I've mentioned it before on this channel, that is like my favorite thing to come from these books, is their backstory. I just absolutely love it. I don't know why, but this book gives me so much backstory that it just makes me so happy. And I really, really like Thalia and Luke and Annabeth's story. It's just like one of my favorite things. Another thing I really enjoy in this book is getting to see Clarice and Selena's friendship together. I think they are the most unlikely friends. I love that they bonded over the fact that Clarice needed some relationship advice for Chris. And I just think they're so sweet, and I love it. I want to see it so bad. It's so sweet. It's my favorite thing. Also, I thought it was really good how Rick wrote the battle here. I think that it is a very realistic aspect of how battles are. They're not just like, oh, there's their army and our army, and it's one big fight to the finish, and the winner takes all. No, it's like, we fight, they retreat, we fight, I retreat, like, blah, 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 back and forth, up until, like, they get breaks, they take days. I mean, it takes a week, I think, of fighting before they are backs to Olympus. And so I think that's just a really realistic aspect of how battles are. And so I thought that was well done. Lastly, all of the sacrifices made in this book were just so heart-wrenching, so well written. You start off with Beckendorf sacrificing himself to blow up the Princess Andromeda, and you're just like, oh my goodness. And I mean, even Percy's like, he has a girlfriend, he's about to go to college, all of this amazing stuff, and oh, my heart, it hurts. And then you have Michael Yu on the bridge, which I did have Michael Yu and Lee Fletcher mixed up. I said in my last book review that I thought Lee Fletcher died in this book. It's Michael Yu. Those poor Apollo kids, they just do not get a break, and I thought they did. But yeah, Michael tells Percy what to do and ends up dying because of it, and I think Michael knew that he had a very, very small chance of making it out alive at that point. And oh, my heart. And then the most epic sacrifice is Selena going head on with the Draken and, you know, ending up bringing in the Ares cabin and basically saving the day. I know she doesn't defeat the Drakon, but because of her sacrifice and because of what she did, it gives Clarice the courage to go in and win. And then she gets the blessing of Ares, and she becomes almost invincible like Percy, and it's just such a good sacrifice and so powerful, and it completely erases the fact that she's the spy. And I think it was so well done that she did this to basically apologize for all of the wrong that she had done being the spy. And oh, also, if you go back, because Selena has been the head counselor for the Aphrodite cabin this whole time, and so she's in every single planning meeting. Fun fact. And so if you go back and reread them, you will see how much knowledge she actually had and why she was such the perfect spy. Anyway, now I will be going into my future section, which is where I'm going to be talking about the Heroes of Olympus. So if you haven't read that series, I highly recommend not continuing. So, first things first, we get a letter from Gleason Hedge, which is kind of his introduction in sorts, at least hints. And I love that Gleason is one of the satyrs that is respecting Grover from the beginning. He's in Canada, which is cool. And yeah, that's really fun. We also meet Will Solstice? I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce last name. We also meet Will, who heals Annabeth, which, oh my gosh, that is just so cool to me that he's the one that heals Annabeth, and is the reason that Annabeth is alive. We meet Katie Gardner, and we get to see some of her friction with Connor Stoll, and a little bit with Travis, but you know, Katie and Connor are the big points there. We also hear more about Hera's curse on Annabeth, and you know, Annabeth hints that she thinks that more is to come with this curse besides just finding cow poop everywhere, which, ew, gross. Cow poop's not small. But I think it's such a perfect lead up to the next series on what the curse becomes. And then we get the next great prophecy at the end of this one. And with that, Percy's like, oh, it probably won't be in our lifetime. We'll be fine. For sure, like, we've had enough going on. And I'm like, no, Percy, if only you knew. But, yes, This is probably one of my favorite books in the series, and I highly recommend it. So thank you so much for getting through my book review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can let me know by hitting that like button. You can comment down below, what is your favorite book in this series? I would love to know. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Bye!